Hello and happy Tuesday from the studio. Today we're pouring more testers. If you guessed that we're pouring more testers, you're right. Congratulations. If you've been keeping up with some of my other videos, you might know I've been going through the challenges of wick testing. And I know you're probably thinking, oh no, you're here to complain about it some more. No, I'm not complaining about it. I actually want to share some mindset tips today that have helped me on tough and challenging studio days. Maybe they can help you too. Tip number one is to zoom out and rewind. What I mean by that is to gain perspective, essentially. So zoom out, meaning take a look at the big picture. Chances are when you're getting really, really tied up and stumbling over a problem in the studio and feeling really discouraged, that your scope, your perspective is just too small, unfortunately. So take the blinders off and open your perspective lens up a little bit more. And what I mean by rewind is to take a look at where you've come from. Chances are, if you evaluate your skill set at this moment right now when you're having this challenge versus where you were a month ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, a week ago, even, depending on like the rate that you're able to, put work into this craft or whatever it is that you're working on. Rewind, take a look at where you came from, give yourself some credit for where you've been. Step number two is to step away. And I know how hard this can be sometimes because I'm like a dog with a bone. If I'm like on a problem or an issue, and I've always been like this because I'm very task oriented, like I feel the compulsive desire to check things off my list to feel accomplished or fulfilled, which I know is like a problem. But honestly, sometimes stepping away and giving yourself to zoom out and rewind is the best thing you can do. Give yourself a little breather, go for a walk, get some fresh air, get a snack, take a nap, whatever your poison is. Just step away, get out of the studio for a few minutes, come back to the problem even the next day. Different day, new problems. Tips still apply. I feel like no matter what I do, this light is just bad for me, so is what it is. Tip number three, ask someone else to look at your work. Often I feel like you can become your own worst critic when your perspective is narrowing because you're having a difficult time with a challenging subject or topic or task. So I think that to avoid over criticizing our work and being a roadblock to ourselves, we have to consider asking someone else to take a look at the work we're doing and offer their opinion. Solid feedback that comes from a different person, a different source that you trust, to be honest with you. Have them smell your candles, look at your candles, look at your labels. If you're working on other things, art, building something, I don't know, have them take a look at your craftsmanship and tell you if it really is that terrible or not. Tip number four is to lower the stakes. By lower the stakes, I don't mean lower your standards. I just mean if you have a timeline that has been self-imposed or, other rigid structures that you've put in place, like I have to do it this way, I have to get it done by this time, I must do it on this day. Maybe try to remove a couple of those rigid structures that you've put in place. If they are put in place by other people because it's involved with your job or some other kind of deadline that you have to make, then obviously you have to try to find a way to work around those. And if that's the case, then I encourage you to you to consider doing a task that is a confidence booster for you. So by that I mean, if you're having difficulty with WIC testing, work on branding instead. If you're having difficulty with branding and labels, work on editing instead. That's just, my case scenario. I was having difficulty probably 7 to 10 days ago with printing some labels for some of my products with alignment and things like that with the printer, because that's all new to me. I don't have any idea how to do that. I'm teaching myself. So it did become very frustrating for me, and I was not getting it in an intuitive way, which can be very frustrating. So I had to stop for a couple of days, and I went back to working on editing and filming and things that I knew would give me not instant gratification, but would give me a little bit of a confidence boost. And then the next day, so after a couple of days of working on other projects and tasks and feeling a little bit more positive and better, I was able to come back to this task with a renewed confidence and to try again. So lower the pressure, lower the stakes, try to go to a different task that's kind of like a pressure release for you, like a little pop-off valve. Do that, take the pressure off, and then come back to this hard task again later. Tip number 5 is don't subscribe to the definition of insanity. All I mean by this is if you have been trying to get this task done for a while and you've been doing it the same way over and over. So for example, you've been using the same wax over and over, the same wick, the same jar, the same fragrance, it's not working. I'm not saying go change everything. I've done that a couple times. Don't do what I did. Change one thing at a time. Treat it like it's a science experiment from elementary school. Change one thing and try again. Literally, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So that's all I mean by don't subscribe to that idea. Don't think that if you keep doing something and just push harder that it will magically work at some point. It's possible you might have to change something about your process, and that's okay. Okay, finally, tip number 6 is to invite God into the process. If you're not already doing this, please give it a try. The Lord is already aware of the ways of your heart, and He is aware of the challenges and troubles that you're going through. You don't necessarily have to explain what's going on because He does know the ways of your heart. However, you can go to Him and ask for assistance. Ask for wisdom, ask for guidance. Ask Him to help you manage your expectations of yourself, of others. Ask Him to give you a little extra patience while you go through this challenge. And if you're not the praying kind, it's okay. If you don't have a Bible, that's okay too. You can literally use your phone and Google or ask whatever AI bot you like to use, show me Bible verses that will help with challenging times, and you will find so much wisdom, so much knowledge in the Word. But if you have a Bible, go ahead, open it up, check into some verses, use the Bible app, find some verses that might give you some encouragement. And if you are of the praying kind, I just encourage you to make time for an extra couple minutes with the Lord if you're going through a challenge. And even if it seems like something you typically wouldn't pray for, because I know we pray for a lot of big things in our life, and we have a tendency to pray when things are really, really rough personally. And we're not, sometimes we're not praying every single day, although we should be. We should be making time for the Lord every day. But He wants to hear the big and small things. There's nothing too big or small for the Lord. So bring your challenges to Him. He is there to counsel you. He is there to strengthen you. He is there to give you wisdom. All you have to do is ask. That brings us to the end of today's video. That was 6 tips that I have for mindset on a difficult day. I hope that one or many of these tips might be helpful to you. If you have a helpful mindset tip, please consider sharing it below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and like this video if you don't mind. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Chronicle Home Co. I hope to see you there. Thanks for spending your time here. See you again soon.